Welcome to the Be Strong Show. I am your host, Michelle Shirley, CEO and Chief Heart Officer for Be Strong International. We are so glad that you have tuned in today. We have an amazing show. I do want to let you know that our annual fundraising event is coming up, Hearts in Rhythm, and it's going to be at the Rusty Pelican on April 27th. We are almost literally sold out, guys. So if you want to join us, have a wonderful time, learn more about Be Strong and all the wonderful things that we are doing in South Florida, please visit bestrongintl.org. Go to our events page, and there you can find more information about the event. And we're also looking for sponsors, right? Of course. With that said, I also want to inform you that we are growing, we are hiring, we are always looking for amazing people to join our team. In addition to that, remember that our organization is all about relationships, what we've coined as heart skills, moving individuals and families from brokenness to wholeness. Today is International Women's Month, so I am excited to have an amazing guest on the show today. This was not planned, but the heavens just made all of this work out so wonderfully, so beautifully. I have the amazing Tina Brown. She's the CEO of Overtown Youth Center. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here today.
Yes, and I'm excited that you're here. When we met, I think we met one time at I think it was the Miami-Dade Chamber event. They had like a gala. And I was just like, hey, what's going on? How are you? And you were so warm. Your husband, we had a great time that night. And I realized like, this is a friend worth keeping. She's just amazing, right? So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. And it was a pleasure meeting you. And so we've been connected
ever since. Yes. I'm like, what's yourself? we need a CEO group of just like, putting our head on each other's shoulder when things get rough, and there's a lot going on in our world, right? As women and as CEOs and all the things that we have to juggle. I think what's interesting for viewers who may not know you is the fact that you came from the corporate world. So I want you to talk a little bit about that and your transition into nonprofit.
Yeah. I came from corporate. I went to school, majored in accounting and finance. And, all throughout my journey, no one ever really talked about career in nonprofit. So all I knew was this corporate space of accounting and finance and crunching numbers. And I enjoyed it.
Right.
It's all I knew.
Right.
But the biggest part of me, and when we talk about heart, my heart has always been with the community.
Yeah.
And as God would have it, after spending 15 years in corporate America, just really in that rhythm of just, going to work, crunching numbers, meeting deadlines. And in accounting, it was really all about deadlines. It's all I knew. And like I said, I enjoyed it. Yeah. But my heart's always been with the community, especially the community that I grew up in. And after 15 years of being in corporate America, someone proposed that I apply for a job in a community. And I'm like, where, what are you talking about? I'm not looking for a job, and she said the Overtown Youth Center. And I'm like, my heart just kind of like, oh my God.
This is it.
I'm like, God, what's going on here? Like, went to school, never heard about nonprofit. What is a nonprofit?
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm not looking, but I'll give you my resume. And I tossed and I turned all night. And God, I think, spoke to me and said, Tina, this is a no-brainer. Like, this this is where you belong. Prior to that, in corporate America, I was always volunteering in my church. I started a little youth group to really, show kids that if I could do it, they could do it, right? If I could come out of Overtown and go to college, they could do it. And I wanted to show them the way, and I wanted to get them prepared. But I also wanted to build their confidence. And I think that's half the battle, right?
Yeah,
it's not so much that you could do it. It's like, do you have the confidence to do it? And I didn't. right? And so I wanted to instill confidence in young people growing up in communities like Overtown. And so tossing and turning all night. And I woke up the next day and I'm like, yes, I'm going to submit my resume. I'm going to interview. And when they said, we want you. And I'm like,
Oh my God. Oh, now it's like, oh
this is
no.
real. This is real. Is this really happening? And so I went into my boss, and my boss was Hispanic guy and loved his community, and he understood right away. And I said, this is something that I was not seeking after, but it is a no-brainer, and I have to go back, and I really want to make a change in my community.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, I'll call you back. But I need to do this.
Yeah.
And 18 years later,
I was just going to say that. How many years since?
Yeah, 18 years later.
OMG. Yeah. That is incredible. That's incredible.
Definitely a labor of love. It's been nonstop for the last 18 years. And I know you understand that.
I'm aware. I'm like 17 years, right?
Yeah.
17 years. But I didn't come in at the CEO level. I kind of worked my way through. But it's incredible to know. I'm sure people don't understand how much you probably, and the both of us, beam when you see where you came from.
Oh, yeah.
When you landed there day one.
Yeah.
To today. Right?
Yeah.
I'm skipping stuff now because I'm excited about this new building and like your new project.
Yeah.
I want you to talk a little bit about what you've seen change over that 18-year period within yourself and within just Overtown.
Yeah. And to your point, I didn't come in at the CEO role. I came in as the director of finance. So, my technical training, converged with my passion.
Absolutely.
And over the years, I've grown tremendously as an individual. Again, growing up in, Overtown, I didn't have the confidence, right? And when presented the opportunity to, get into the CEO role, I'm like, that's certainly not for me. Like, I definitely cannot do that. I know these numbers and that's it. Like, that's all you're getting from me. And my dear friend, sister, and mentor, my predecessor was like, Tina, you can do this. And, I've grown a lot. I've grown from, managing a department of 2 to a team of 80, right? To hiring, over 250 employees on an annual basis at some point in time. I've had to grow as a leader, in terms of, my leadership style, leading an organization from my own personal passions, my own lived experiences, and having people to want to follow that.
Yeah.
And so that was a tremendous feat. But thankfully, most of the people that come to work into our organization are truly passionate about this type of work. The organization's transformed. When I started, we were probably a team of, 10, 15. And I just mentioned
Sounds
to where
familiar.
we are now, right? So we're a team of 80 full and part-time. We hire about 150 youth during the summer.
That's beautiful.
And about 30 AmeriCorps members throughout the year. So that was an adjustment.
Yes,
right?
of course.
So you go
It's
from
huge
this
operations.
small, mom, pop,
Right.
startup, and I'm still learning and I'm still growing because at every phase of leadership, there's a different expectation. From both my team and I'm sure from my community, my board, of me.
Yeah.
And so it's been a whirlwind, but a great one.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can attest to just the transformation that happens within you as an individual and as a leader. I want to go back to something that you said, but I almost want you to share with the audience, what is Overtown Youth Center? Talk about what your organization is and how amazing you all have, just this year of transformation alone.
Oh, absolutely. So the Overtown Youth Center, OYC Miami, is a community development center. We were founded in 2002 by a local real estate developer, Marty Margulies, who really petitioned Alonzo Mourning, our co-founder and my boss, to really start an organization that would cater to young people growing up in the community. Marty wanted to have Overtown Youth Center really be a safe haven for young people in the community. Fast forward, we started out with the core of our services centered around youth. Fast forward, though, most or a lot of our work is really focused on youth and family strengthening. So our goal is to bridge educational, social, health, and economic gaps for young people, their families, and adults residing in urban communities. We've really evolved and we've expanded outside of the Overtown community. So we serve, the Overtown communities like Little Haiti, Little Havana, Alapata, all the way up to Miramar now.
That's great.
And the goal is to continue to expand our work. And just simply put, we want our children and our families to thrive, right? We want to create opportunities that wouldn't otherwise exist for them. Many of our children, many of our families, they have, the talent and the ability. They just don't have the resources. And that's where we come in.
Yeah.
Like we help to strengthen and uplift and empower, our communities to do amazing things. And we know that in communities like Overtown and Little Haiti and Little Havana and down south where you serve, there is so much talent.
Yep.
There's a lot of talent.
Yep. I love that. I love what you all are doing. And I know we've partnered on several occasions and looking forward to continued partnerships with Overtown Youth Center. I want to go back a little bit before I jump forward where you talked about, and only because it's International Women's Day and I've got to feed into this sort of like lack of confidence that a lot of us have when a new opportunity presents itself, right?
Yeah.
And I heard you say that, coming from Overtown, not having the confidence, like, what do you think attributed to that? Like, what do you think really caused you to grow up? And even as an adult, you can kind of see those areas where you're just like, when you said like, no, I'm in finance. Like, I'm just going to stay in the box of finance, right?
Yeah.
What attributes to that for you?
I think just a powerful circle of individuals who continued to believe in me, even when I doubted myself. And many of them were women. There were men in there. The first person that really helped me to believe that I could be somebody was a male.
Wow.
Right?
Come on now.
It was my teacher, from high school. But along the way, just women pouring into me, Carla Penn, my predecessor, she was like, Tina, there were a lot of moments where she's like, come on, what is up with you? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know. I have frequent conversations with a good friend of mine who she's a friend, but she calls herself my coach. And she's like, what is it with you people, right? And she's not from this country. And she's from a third world country, but she says to me all the time, I do find that African American women continue to doubt themselves, right? And in our country, our parents and the women around us teach us that there are no limits, right? And I think when you come from impoverished situations, you just sort of grasp hold and you think that whatever is given to me, I'm just gonna take it. I just should take it, right? I should be appreciative of that. And, and growing up also, which, has been a big part of my life, being Christian, is like, just be humble. And so humility is my superpower in a lot of ways. But just having the women to continue to like push me to the next level, right? Yes. And many of them have pushed me off cliffs. Right? And it's like, oh, wow, this is scary. Coming into this world, this is scary. But, in recognizing, how powerful women are, it's been just a tremendous amount of support through friendships like the one that I have with you, with the Women's Edge, with a circle of CEOs in this nonprofit space, which are predominantly women, right? they've just been tremendous.
Yeah.
They've been tremendous.
Yes.
And then for me now, just kind of understanding that, look, wow, you are okay, right? Like you can do this. So now my goal is to be as confident as I could be for the young girls that are watching me every day.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
I walk in a sense of boldness now, although there are still many moments that I feel like, I don't belong here.
Me too.
Right.
Yeah.
But I try to be an example for all the young girls that we serve, also for the young women on my team.
Yeah.
Right. And all the other women on my team, because I want them, like, I want to post a sign, or I want to send an email out to say, who wants to be the next CEO of OYC?
Right.
In hopes that somebody will step up.
Right.
And maybe it's that young woman who never thought about like being the CEO of the organization. But I'm ready to say, I'm going to train you. I'm going to get you here.
Yeah.
Right. Because you belong here.
True. Your story is so powerful.
Yeah.
I think, watch out now. You might get calls, right?
About call speaking.
Me. Yeah. About
speaking. No, I'm scared of that now. No, I'm scared of that.
About your journey, because I think it's just so impactful to hear you had the skill sets already. Yeah. You had the humility that I think is very much needed in this role, right?
Yeah.
You had the know-how and the passion, right? All these three things really make a phenomenal leader when you're talking about leading a nonprofit, right? There's instances where you really have to utilize your skill sets to the best of your ability, because the resources aren't there.
Yeah.
The resources aren't there all the time, like in for-profit entities, right? And so I think, to your point, reaching back now and being kind of like this woman that says, you know what, I'm here and I'm holding out my hand for others to come and join me is definitely what we're about. And I think that's why we connected, because we were just like, let's just keep it real about what's happening in our lives, and let's share resources or talk about what's really going on and say, hey, this is where I am. This is where you are. How can we help one another? And I think that's the best thing that women could do for one another.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Authenticity is everything.
Yes.
And when we can, be real with each other, when we're in settings like this, we have to exercise diplomacy and be politically correct. But the way that you help me and I help you is that we have to be authentic and real and be vulnerable to sharing where we fall down or where we just need help.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And that leads into even, I think, where we are today in this sort of like mental health crisis, where you have women who, even for me, sometimes my team is like, man, you're so strong. You're like a bottle of vodka. Like you just keep going. You don't get sick. You don't, and I'm like, there are days, guys, that you don't see me where my door is closed and I'm just like, like, how am I going to get through this situation right now? Like, what? This doesn't make sense. How do I figure this out? But I think at the end of the day, having those group of colleagues, having that support, and being able to know and intentionally say, this is my weak point. Yeah. I need some help.
Oh, yeah.
Is a strength that people now are recognizing as a strength.
Yeah.
That before, people sort of hid in the back and just hid their depression and hid their, other areas of sort of illness. And so I think kudos to you for just being.
And kudos to you.
Yeah, vulnerable and just humble. And, I like your style, because I'm always like, always like this. And then you get around Tina and it's just like, yes. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to bring it down a notch.
Listen, not always. If you ask my team, I always tell people when I enter my office, right now I'm in a temporary office space because we're building a facility. And when I get into that little small space, the whole building is lit. They're like, you're so loud and wild. And I'm dealing with a million things. And sometimes I am yelling or I am like loud, and I'm thinking that you gotta hear me. You gotta hear me.
Right.
There's so
funny.
much to do.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good stuff.
But no, to your point, I mean, I think people look at us
Yeah.
and they think that you got it all together. You're strong.
Yeah.
You come in here every day and you're fired up, and you just don't know that I sat in my car for like 10 minutes and I'm like, my God, give me the strength to go and walk in this office and to do this today.
Yeah.
Or the times that you just, you get home late evenings and you're in the shower and you're crying, or you're asking God, like, is this for me?
Yes.
Can I continue? Do I have the strength? And you're constantly asking for strength. And, there's this song that we sing in church that you have to encourage yourself and looking in the mirror and saying, Tina, you got this. You can do this. Michelle, you got this. You can do this.
Yeah. So good.
And so people don't see that part, right? People don't see that, but it happens every single day. And I tell young people around me, you have to fight mentally, to keep going, right?
Yes.
So it's a daily fight. It's not something that you just get up and you do, and you interview with another amazing CEO, but you're like, you gotta like, you gotta like encourage yourself. You gotta pep yourself up a lot of times, and people just don't see that. And I tell people I am weak a lot of days. Right? But what fuels, my continuation of coming in and giving it all that I have on a daily basis is the transformational changes that we see and that we know are possible.
Yes.
And so that's what helps me to get out that car and wipe off those tears.
Yes.
And to go into my office and to go into these construction meetings with all these men and say, we gotta get this done.
Hurry up. The building due date is right. Yeah. So pretty cool. Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying. And I think sometimes too, we don't look oftentimes, and I know I'm guilty of this, we don't look back and celebrate the wins either. We go so fast. Like, grant sent, okay, on to the next, right? And my team, and I'm still working on this, teaching me like, pause. Let's celebrate this. We made it, and I'm not that kind of individual. So it's like looking back over 17 years, 18 years and saying, look how far we've come is something that we have to do as well. You know, appreciate where we've come and all the people who have been supportive along the way.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for that reminder. I need that. Because I constantly beat myself up, right? I mean, you have these wins, but you're like,
I need more.
I think we need therapy. I need therapy. Because I need more.
Well, for me, imagine me, right? The name of my company is Be Strong, right? It's like, you're just going to have to be strong. Like, no matter what, you just got to wipe it and go, right? So it's these areas where I think we can work on. And I think we become aware of it. And, I rely on my team to help me with those areas of like, no, stop. We're going to celebrate.
Absolutely.
We're going to have some ice cream cake, even though I'm on a diet, right? Like whatever we got to do to make sure that everyone understands that this is a milestone.
Oh, yeah.
So.
We do have to celebrate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we don't do it. Yeah, see? So, all right, good.
I needed that.
Check off of how to help. All right. So with that said, we have a few minutes left, and I do have to do our game Social Yaks. So as I told you, you're going to pick a few cards from each level of the deck. And this game really is about the audience getting to know you better in a more fun way, right? In a more non-threatening way, not scary way. So with that said, I want you to pick up the first card, which is from our beginning Break the Ice sort of section. So let's break the ice and let's learn more about Tina Brown.
All right.
You should read it out loud and then.
First social yak. At a party, where can someone find you? For those who may be watching and you know me, you're going to find me on the dance floor.
Oh, really?
I absolutely love to dance.
Oh,
I love
that's
music.
So cool.
I just love music.
Oh,
I love to dance.
Good.
I remember during the pandemic, my kids and I, we would have Club 5,000. And on Friday nights, we would just turn up.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We would turn up. I love
That's so
dance.
sweet. Oh,
It is my stress reliever.
So that's good. That's really good.
Now, a lot of my colleagues say, you don't know how to dance,
But
but you be moving.
so we'll work on you getting on rhythm and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. So funny. Okay, so we'll pick another one from Break the Ice.
All right. If you could meet anyone living or dead, who would it be? You know, when I think about today and it being International Women's Day, I would love to meet Shirley Chisholm.
Oh, wow.
She was just amazing.
Yeah.
A political activist, a women's rights activist. She was bold.
Yeah.
I totally strive to be just like her. And she paved the way for so many
of us.
many women, right? And so would love to meet her. I know she had her fair share of challenges.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
And her platform was just so amazing to do some amazing things. And so she's my hero.
Oh, that's good. I haven't heard people talk about her as often. So that's interesting.
Get to know Shirley. Oh my God.
That's interesting.
And for some reason, she just, I mean, when I look at her, I think about myself.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. No, she was amazing.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to go to our next level, which is our Yaks Get Social.
Get social.
So let's see here.
All right. So the first one is, what is your greatest aspiration in life? And I think my greatest aspiration is to be a great mom, to my 3
wonderful.
boys.
Oh.
And I want to leave this place, this world, a better place for them.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I want the life that I lead to be an example of the life that they should lead. And I want them to embrace community and give back. But I want to leave the world a better place for them and their children.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. We're not going to go there. Congratulations on your award, by the way.
Thank you. The Miami Foundation.
Miami Foundation, yes. Celebrating a night of Black philanthropy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
that
cool.
was amazing.
Yeah, that was an amazing night.
All right. What activity energizes your soul and mind the most?
Dancing?
I love dancing. But more than that, I love helping people.
Yeah.
Right? And so wherever I can empower, wherever I can help someone, that energizes me. Whether it's, helping my kids or helping, my husband or helping, my team members outside of work.
Yeah.
Like, hey, girl, did you think about this? Or, or speaking to a young guy and saying, hey, I think, you could be doing this, or let me help you, right? And so, if I had a theme of how I greet people, it would be, how can I help you?
Oh, I love that.
How can I
Yes.
help you? Right?
I've learned that through a colleague of mine because she was trained at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And Barbara Jean, shout out to Barbara Jean. And something that I picked up was similar. How can I serve you?
Yeah.
So
I love that.
So after we do our thing, right, which may come off transactional, how can I serve you?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that really has helped me, grow and just kind of always thinking about the person that's with me and not just me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And in the world we live in, I mean, there are so many people that need a lot of help and support, including us.
Yeah.
And everybody's on the go, and it's just so fast paced. And I just want to slow down and serve.
Yeah.
And so
I love that.
Can I help?
No, right? I love that. All right, we're gonna do one of these for the sake of time.
Okay.
Just one.
One.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, what character flaw would you like to work on? Let me
switch the card.
Switch the card. I'm sorry. I'm cheating. Let me be fair. I'm going to go back to that. What is the character flaw you would like to work on? we talked about it earlier a little
Yeah.
bit, like just not feeling like I'm doing enough, right?
Yeah.
I really like to, settle in, celebrate, the wins, and stop. I said this the other day because I bought social, and so I do this with my team. I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist,
Right. But
but I do strive for perfection.
Yeah.
And that is,
and it's rough for the team. I gotta say it.
it's
I
rough.
hear you. I hear
It's
you.
rough. Gotta stop that. Team, you heard it here. I'm gonna stop it.
I hear you.
I'm gonna stop it.
Team, don't email me afterwards either. All right. So this last level of the game is called Use Wisdom, and it flips, right? Where
Okay.
I share something about you. So it would say, if I had 3 wishes, what do I think Tina would ask for? So I would say, Tina, you would ask for, it's funny how you talked about family. I think you would ask for that son, your sons really have an amazing life in service, in, getting married and having their own families and thriving, and your husband saying, like, what a virtuous woman this woman is, right? That was 1. 2, that you leave such an amazing legacy with Overtown, right? Not just the youth center, just in Overtown. Like, you are this staple that really changed the game in the last 18 years of your career being with Overtown. And then I think the last thing is, living a long retired life one day and just knowing that you're able to do speaking engagements and pour into other women and financially be okay because you've served for so many years. So that would be what I think your 3 wishes would be. Did I hit it? Did I hit it? All right. See, I'm good at this.
You are on point.
I'm good at this. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Yes.
definitely.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Good. Well, this wraps up our show today. We're a little bit over time, but I thank you for staying tuned with us. Amazing. I could be here all day talking to Tina because it's just this calm, serene, zen thing we got going on. Yeah. And love her. So check out her organization, Overtown Youth Center, please. And of course, follow us, Be Strong INTL, on all of our social media pages. Would love to hear from you about our show and all of the amazing things that we're doing and how you can support us. Until next time, see you soon.